Hiya, Mia. How you doing, Flower? Nice to see you popping on. How's things for you, Chick? Oh, bloody hell, I think Harry's trying to set a garden on fire. Men and the blooming fires. What is it with men and fires? I don't know. I really don't. I'm pretty good, thanks. I am. Which makes a pleasant change, I might add. Good to know. Oh, I think I've got Poppy's syndrome, scratching her tabs. She made one of her ears really sore, right bright red. And she'd been chewing at one of her front paws, and it made that really looking sore. So, if she's not careful, she'll be going to vets, and she don't like going to vets. But there we go. She's on my knee at the minute. Oh, where you going away? Where you going? Anywhere nice? We will be. You going abroad? The only place you can find somewhere nice abroad, isn't it, really? Our abroad days are done now. I mean, for starters, we've got her, and I don't like leaving her with any. Well, I wouldn't. I just wouldn't want to leave her. So, and she's not got a passport, and I'm not. We haven't, as far as that goes. We'd have to renew everything again, and I'm not that bothered about going away. He can't even be bothered to drive to coast, so we used to. We were going down Wales quite often to see Jane, Crafting Shed Davis. We had some lovely holidays down there with Caravan, but we've let that go because he don't feel like he wants to drive all that way down, dragging a caravan now. Mind you, I must admit, he is bad on his feet. He really is getting bad on his feet. And next month, he'll be the same age as me. Oh, Torremolinos. We were living not far from there for about 7 months in a place called Churiana, which is not far from Torremolinos, that's for sure. Nice place. We dropped on Lucky. Yeah, I knew what you meant anyway. I knew it was Torremolinos. I think it's Torremolinos. But I have no idea. I won't pick you up on your spelling because I couldn't now, not these days. But it's nice. We only went to because we got our Spanish citizenship, Harry and I. So we can live in Spain legally. We've got all the paperwork needed. So, but even in winter, it got too hot for me. I couldn't breathe, and I said to Harry, I can't cope with this weather. I mean, while we were there, they had worse rain they've ever had. We got flooded out at little, what is it that we were staying in? It was like a bungalow, single-story bungalow thing, but we got flooded out. Coming through chimney breast walls, because of course it was built up to like into the back of the place was like the bank, like a metal bank, earth bank, and you walked up some steps and you could walk on it like a bit of grass, and then you could walk onto the roof. I never went up there. But my mother's dog did, and I kept having to say to Harry, go fetch your down. I don't want it to fall off bloody edge, do us an injury, because she were an old dog. Well, I've not seen any sun since, apart from what we do get here, for the last 13 years, 14 years now, since we come back from Spain. Only the good thing we got out of Spain with Rosie Posey. And I ain't even got her now, bless her. But, I mean, Costa del Sol's nice anyway. And we loved, every day we went, Harry and I drove into Benalmadena every day. Every day. We took Rosie with us. We took Phoebe originally, because she went over, we got a passport for her and Sally before we went. And when we lost Phoebe, that was devastating enough. But we found an English breeder, and it was a lovely place. It weren't like a puppy farm or anything like that. It was lovely where dogs were and everything. They were well cared for. They did, I think they had Westies, and I'm not sure if it were Labradors and German Shepherds, but they got 4 pairs of Westies, and they all had their own little compartments, male and female together in a thing. But it was a massive, massive land that they could, he used to take them out for let them run round. And I think he'd do it in turn. He didn't put them all out together. I think he'd have had a job on his hands, but he'd probably let all Westies out once and then let all German Shepherds or whatever and then labs. So yeah, that's where we got Rosie from. And so I was devastated when we lost her, because she had to go into quarantine for 5 months when we come back. Costed over £2,000 that quarantine. But we couldn't stay in house any longer, you see. And I says to him, oh, rather than wanting round for somewhere else to live, let's just go home, let's go back. Because I weren't happy. He loved it. I mean, he really did enjoy it, but he could see it were getting to me. And I think now he's glad he's back, although he won't have you believe that, but I think he is, really. Oh, Mir, I am so sorry to wear that flower. Oh. It will do as well, because it was Stephen's anniversary, wasn't it? Not that long ago. It doesn't seem that long ago, but I don't know. Oh, well, I am sorry, love. What were you losing your mum? And Lisa, she lost her dad last week while they were in Marrakesh. I don't know. I don't know whether the daughter were getting married there, but I think she was. But so they had to come back from that to help with the dad's funeral, and then for Lisa, bless her, she got COVID and couldn't go to help my mum. And she feels terrible. She can't even go to the funeral. She's got it bad. She's got COVID bad. No, look, I took it through into the kitchen. Yeah, so she's got COVID bad. But fortunately, they're having a Zoom for funeral service, because they've got other family members that, live a long way away. So it's the only way they can attend. But she feels bad, and I said, it's not your fault. I know it's not. It flies, doesn't it? It takes some getting in. I know, July, and then in beginning of September it was Danielle. 2 years for Danielle in September. Oh, and I do miss her so much, She was like a daughter to me, absolutely. She were, and I miss her terribly even now. I talk to her all the time. You do, don't you? Well, I do anyway. The Looney Tunes here. I've got a picture of Rosie Posey up here on my thing. I talk to her all the time. I talk to Danielle. I've got pictures of Danielle up here. I've got Poppy on my knee, and I tell Poppy all about Rosie. I'm just a crazy old lady these days. But there we go. Yeah, it's what keeps me happy. I wouldn't be without her. She's a little darling, really. She looks like a bloody sheep at the minute because when she was due for going to have a groom session, Harry was flat on his back. He does for a week. He was flat on his back. He could hardly walk. So there was no way we were going to be able to drive anyway. So she missed the grooming, and then when he got back on his feet, he rang her up again and said, can we rearrange a meeting? Um, you don't, Mia. You don't. I'm still same with my mum, same with my dad. I don't know why I'm more my mum, but because it was probably not as long ago as my dad. I lost my dad in 2020, so no, I didn't. I lost my dad in 2000. What am I talking about? Tell you. But I mean, it's 23 years since I lost my dad, and I still miss my dad. He had got the worst dry humour, but he was so funny, and he just always made you laugh. Um, and my mum, she's been on since 2014, which I can't believe it's been that long, but my God, it feels like an age anyway. Yeah, you've got to, I mean, I don't know. I said, when Danielle come here, just not long before she passed away, I said, we were talking and she said she were frightened to die. And I said, well, it's not easy, but I think you're the bravest thing out me. I said, the way you are, the way you carry yourself, you've got 4 girls and you're just you're marvellous with them, even though what she was going through. And she says, if she could, she would come down and visit me. And I said, well, do something so that I know you're here. And my God, she's been twice. And I have witnesses to that because I've got an album I made up over on a shelf there, and it's right on the shelf. There's no way that could fall off on its own. And I was sat here one day, and I was talking to her and asking her how she was doing and that. And next thing, this album jumped off that shelf onto back behind me. And I says, you're here. I knew she were here. And then one of me Monday nights when I was doing a live for quiz. Oh, and I had such a lot of pain in my back. And I was talking, we were talking like we do on live, and I moved, and all of a sudden I said, "Where? It feels better, painsy stuff." And at that moment, Mandy said, "There was an orb just come up from your back." From this side going up that way. And I said, never. And she says, Danielle had been in. Oh, well, I'm glad you got yourself settled with somebody, that's compassionate, because that's a big thing. He's not very. He just poo-poos everything, Harry. But, I mean, he had lost his mum. We lost his mum before my mum, actually. And but then just literally 2 months before my mum passed away, Harry's eldest brother passed away out of blue. We'd only been talking to him a week before in town. And apparently had a heart attack while he was watching television and nobody knew. And they found him, I think it was next day or a couple of days after. Because he lived on his own, So it's just, and we're at that age now. Well, I am. I mean, I don't know about you, but I am. You're not obviously as old as me, but I'm at that age now where I just thank God for every month I get, every year I get, because I never actually thought I'd be here after I was 70. We're having this COPD carry on and what have you. But I'm still here, so and I thank goodness every day for being still here. And I think, oh, I'm hoping I have another birthday and another Christmas. It's the way things are, but you know, my time is now limited. That I do know. And Harry, he's saying, they say he's 71 in April next month. I'm already there. I couldn't wait. I had to beat him to it. But one saving grace, in my opinion, one thing that I am glad of is that I've got my son back in my life, which that means so much to me, having him back. Having not seen him for many years. It's just lovely to have him back in my life, you know. So I'm grateful for that. And I got my first Mother's Day card off him for last 20 years. That is lovely. And I'm just so pleased to have him back. So now I've got them both, Claire and Daniel, back. Well, I've never lost Claire, but it was a big major loss losing Daniel. But that were just circumstances and misunderstandings that caused that. Were you really? Claire were born on my mum's birthday. That is amazing. My mum were 84 when she passed away. And she was only just 84. Because she was 84 in May when she passed away in December she passed away. You know, I can't remember now. Oh, my memory is terrible, really bad. It's worrying. And there we go. Well, we had 6 in, now there's only 2. We've frightened them off me. I've not been doing much crafting. I've got both my machines back. Well, I got the 2 machines back that I had serviced. There were no wrong with them. They were just wanting servicing and reset them and oiled them and everything that it needed. And now we're looking at going rate for sewing machine servicing. Going rate's about £75 a machine. And I thought, Jesus, and I thought I broke Claire's. Well, I hadn't. I just caught a thing and I didn't know about it. I didn't even know it was there. Because I've never used her machine. It was mine, but it was like I bought a machine. I bought an overlocker, and that machine came free with it, brother. And I got both machines just for price of overlocker from manufacturers, not from weren't second hand or anything. Oh, would it? I was just glad that because my dad passed away in 2000, they just had their golden wedding anniversary, the 50th. And I was so glad for that because they got married in February and my dad passed away August 4th, 2000. And it was my niece's wedding day, literally. And I had to go to Manchester because I'd make cake. And we got a visitor over from Australia who had been staying with us. And then after the wedding, he was staying with my brother. But we got a phone call at 3 o'clock. Just after we finished eating, the phone went and come and fetch me from reception to tell me he'd gone. And I had to drive home because Ernie had been giving it some right welly with drink. And I hadn't. You see, I don't drink. Well, I don't drink when I'm out and if I've got to drive. But we were staying overnight in a place we'd already booked it, paid for it, everything. And we ended up not staying. Couldn't. I got to get back from my mum. I've yet to do a quilt. I'm wanting to. I bought a charm pack, which I'm going to have a play with. And I've got stacks of fabrics, absolutely. I watch a lady on YouTube. Her channel is called The Twins Day, as in like she's got twin boys. The Twins Day, that's the actual name of the channel. And she does one most days. At the moment, she's been a little bit not well, so she's sort of been doing one every other day. But just go and have a look on her. She does some bags like, there's one particular one she's done in like a red Japanese fashion fabric. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. And I'd bought some, I can't get saying stuff. She lives in America, but she's Vietnamese, but she's lovely. I know funnily enough, you said log cabin. I'd never heard of one until I think a couple of weeks ago. It was actually while my machine was with Lado that I watched a video on YouTube about a log cabin. And I thought, what the hell's a log cabin quilt? But yeah, I saw that one. It's like anything goes sort of thing, isn't it? So yeah, I did actually once have a go at a quilt, but I was rubbish at it, and it was because I was trying to rush things too much, you know, which is what I tend to do. Instead of taking my time and being careful what I'm doing. But yeah, oh dear. So, but I will get round to it. I haven't even, since I've got my machine back, all the same went at £75 going rate for just for a service on your sewing machine. Well, this guy that did mine, he charges £45, and he's brilliant. Absolutely. He's an old guy. He's older than me, 79, I think he said he were. He's got a garage full of sewing machines. In fact, he tried to flog me another. But he were, thank you. He were really quick. I mean, we took him down on Friday afternoon, and he rung us up Sunday, mothering Sunday, to go fetch them. They were done. So we went and got them, and didn't take him long at all. But he says there was no wrong, just wanted resetting. For some reason, mine had started all looping underneath, and I thought, I don't know why, because I don't mess about with tensions on mine. You know, some say, well, put your tension up or slacken it off a bit for doing this, that, and other kind of sewing. And I think, oh, I'm not messing about with my tension because I'm rubbish messing about with all like that. So I don't mess with it. Are you joking? Had his hair cut? Have you seen where it is? It's nearly down his back. I'm going bombing me saying, get your hair cut. Get your hair cut. It's really long. It's right. It's below his shoulders at back. It's just not very thick these days. So when he combs it and brushes it at back, you can't see it. You know, so what's the point of having long hair when you can't, you know, it's not very thick. I'm driving daft about. Leave me alone. Stop picking on me. We'll get bloody haircut. Oh dear, that's what he used to say to me when I had my hair long, you know. In fact, I'm ready for another hair. Look at all this sticking out to the sides. It's been washed this morning. You wouldn't know. Look at it all sticking out. Not kidding. Desperately needing it cutting again. Oh, I am. So, well, it doesn't look like anybody wants to play. There were 6 on earlier, but nobody else spoke, were there? So I don't know. I don't know who's going to be on and who ain't now. Tonight, if nobody decides to come on, I'll just not do a quiz. You know, I don't like wasting quizzes. They take a lot of writing out. To make them easier for me to work with, I have to write them. Well, I used to write a lot out, questions and answers, but now I just write answers out and read questions from the book. So it makes it a little bit easier, but I still have to do it because I don't want to be flapping pages backwards and forwards. Mine don't normally grow, but I mean, it does for the first 2 or 3 inches. Well, it could well be. It could well be. But I mean, I went through menopause very early because I were hysterectomy when I was 34, 33. I think it might have even been before. So, yeah, I had early menopause, but my hair's never been good for growing. And then all of a sudden, just before I had it cut short this time, it was down behind my back. And I thought, blimey, where's that all come from? Because I don't normally get it to grow that long. When I've wanted to, you know. I've got all excuse me, I've got all these clips that I put in now. And I've got hair that doesn't need them now. I don't know, but I'm not growing it again. It's too much. Takes too much looking after. You know, yet I needed to blow dry it, otherwise it looked dreadful. Did you? Wow. You should have gone through your menopause already then. You should have. You should have. But there we go. Here's poor women and there's claiming problems. Men have no idea, have they? They have no idea. I was just in the middle of doing a caterpillar. I don't know whether you watch moth art on YouTube, but I love the way she makes little tiny. Oh, right, I'm not on anything like that. I don't take any estrogen or any of them anymore. They had me on what we call it, tablets, and they had to take me off them. Where is it when you go through menopause? They call it. Can't think now. I tell you, my brain does what it wants to do and not else. But so yeah, you've never heard of Martha? Oh, she does some lovely stuff, Mia. Lovely dolls, and she does all the crafts. Well, I'm saying she occasionally does like a desktop box, like a desk tidy box, but she does some lovely stuff, and she's really, really good at it. I absolutely love watching her. In fact, I look out for her. I often run through everything. Has anybody has been on today? I do that with Twins Day as well. They call her Vivian. She's, like I said, she's Vietnamese, and she does some lovely stuff. She speaks perfect good English. In fact, she's funny. She makes jokes, and you know, it makes you titty. You can't help it. She's just like that, you know, and she's really a breath of fresh air because she's not, you know. Yeah, you'll have to go and have a look. She's good. I mean, she does a lot of bags, but she also does purses and little wallets and things. And they're really good. I mean, there's one particular one. It's like a red clutch that she did in this red Japanese fabric design, and oh God, it's gorgeous. And I thought, oh, I'd love to make one of them. So I've got the material I sent from AliExpress. That's the only place you can get it at, I would say, a reasonable price. It's not that reasonable, but it's cheaper than anywhere else. You know what I mean? But you've got to pick your shop as well, because even in AliExpress, it's expensive from some shops. And I only bought half a meter. They sell it. You can buy it in just like a fat quarter. A fat quarter is not enough, but half a meter is plenty, you know. So, but I've got a few. I bought some blue one. I've just had another one come actually, and it's like cherry blossom design on it, and it really isn't. Yeah, it's the Twins Day. Just that, the Twins Day. And her name's Vivian, and she does some great stuff. Absolutely. you know, bags and purses and stuff. Another one as well that does, he uses anything, and when I say anything, I mean literally anything he uses to make what he calls designer bags. They're nearly always to do with denim, but by God, they're good. They're lovely. You know, he makes a good job of them. In fact, I've not watched today's video. Call him Don Kim, as in D-O-N, Don Kim. 2 words, and that's his channel, and he's brilliant as well. Some of they don't talk in it, but they do show you the process very clearly. You know, it's very good. Vivian does, she talks. She says some really funny things as well, you know. Yeah, she's funny. You found them all, have you? Yeah, they're worth watching. I mean, oh, what's the other one called? Minky. She doesn't talk though at all. I think it's Minky. She's another either Japanese, either Chinese or Vietnamese. I'm not sure which, but there are a few of them, and some of them they're a little bit too advanced for my liking. You know, that's not their fault. That's, you know, I'm not saying no about that. But I like to watch. I love to watch Vivian on Twins Day, and I always look out for Moth Art. I've even saved her to a playlist, Moth Art, of her own, because she does such great things. At the moment, I've moved them now. She's made a caterpillar out of these things. I'll show you if I can get it out. She's made a caterpillar out of these, you know, air scrunchies. I've started making some. Go and have a look. It's absolutely brilliant. I love it. And I'll have a go. It might never turn out like hers. I've got to be honest, they never do. But I have a go, you know, and yeah, I enjoy watching them. But I love to watch her on Moth Art. There's another girl that's very similar, does very similar things to her. I can't, Sanet or something, or Senot. I can't remember her name. If I can think on, I'll send you a message on YouTube, on Facebook. But yeah, she's very good. I'm wanting to get I've got another PC, my little one that I used to have in here. I'm going to have it put over there on that back bit where I've got all my sewing stuff, so that I can do videos I can do lives while I'm sewing and that. So yeah, because I want to get back into doing daytime lives as well, you know. Yeah, I've lost me I've lost me bit with sewing, and I mean, I used to sew everything, all kids' clothes, I made them all. But unfortunately, as I'm getting older, I think I'm losing plot a bit. But a friend in fact, I'll tell you, you know Danielle, who we lost a couple of years back, her daughter messaged me a couple of months back and told me she was pregnant. And I says, are you happy about it? She says, yeah, more. And I says, well, I'm happy for you then. So I've got this. And I thought I'd try and make this one a little sleeping bag for a baby. Now, Claire's got there's a lady that works at Glenn's place, Claire's hubby's. But Claire knows her as well, and she said, would she like all this baby stuff? Because Claire says it's like new, it's ever so good, really well cared for. So I messaged Carly and told her. And she said, oh, yes, please. She says, I don't know what to get, but it's still early because she were only like, I asked her how far she were, and she said about 3 weeks, bless her. She just found out. She was just like excited. And I got excited for her as well, bless her. She's a lovely lass. So, yeah, and Claire, I think Claire's away this weekend, back today, if I'm not mistaken. I'm getting muddled up because she said they'd be back a couple of days before Glenn's birthday. Well, Glenn's birthday is not, 4th of April, which is after next weekend. So now I don't know whether they've been this weekend or if they're going next weekend. You know, this is how bad my memory's getting. Look at me hair stuck out here. Great up. Go away. So, yeah, I thought I'll have a go. When kids were little, I made them all little dungarees, like sort of like this, but without the sleeves. They both of them had dungarees made for them, and I used to I had to what they call it, bind them, bias binding round them, and I put all that on the hand. I never did it with sewing machine because I could never get it to look right with sewing machine. So I did it all by hand, and I still do. I put it first. I put one first bit on with sewing machine, but then I hand stitch rest at back when I'm doing back bit, so that there's no stitching showing. And I always think it looks better. And I love hand sewing actually. I can't make a full garment by hand sewing, but I like that. You know, print bias binding on second bit of bias binding. I love doing out like that. I can do that by hand. You know, I love it. So when I close up a bag, you know, when you've done turned it from inside out back to right way, and you've got your seam at the bottom inside your lining or whatever to sew. I never do that by machine. I always do it by hand if I'm closing a gap. It's just easier to me. It's neater, you know. Can't see it. Because whenever I go to Claire's for an afternoon, which I've not been since beginning of COVID. We did say we were going to start doing it again. But she takes me shopping every Tuesday now. So, but she always used to have a pile of sewing bits for me. A t-shirt here and a trouser bottom there. And while she were ironing, we sat chatting, nattering, and I'd be sat sewing. She got a pile of sewing jobs for me. And then I got back to Daniel, got Daniel back, and bless him, he says, "Oh, I've got a sewing job for you." I thought, "Oh, here we go." Bless him. Oh dear. But I forgot to pick it up when he come to pick me up, when he took me over his place. Took me over to see his house and that, and he's got a lovely place. He has. Really nice. So I'm really pleased with, you know, it's come on in leaps and bounds, you know. So I don't know. Well, there's not many people coming on, is there? I think Chris will have to do a runner. But yeah, I bought some new ones, but I found small one now as well. I've got all my quilting things here, look, and I've had these years. I've had these for years. But I say I've had a go at it. I've got some more down there. One I can't find. I've just bought a new one, but it's not quite same. Is I had a Dresden one, but it had got mine. It was like the round-ended. Excuse me, would you like me to get off chair? And I don't know what I've done with it. So I've just bought that one, but it's not quite the same. I've got to make my own round end on that one. But I wanted a smaller, and I wanted a square, which I've got now. And these are some I bought before. So I've got hexagon one I bought before, and I've got that triangle, and I've got that triangle. And like I say, I've just bought Dresden. And I've got some more hung up down there. I've not got at them yet, but this big spider web's down there, and I'm not sure I dare go down. I really have to get them out. It does, but then again, that's up to them. I think, I don't know, I've been under the impression that they've been getting a little bit fed up with the quiz, because there are questions, and I can't vote about that. I mean, I take them from a pub quiz book, you know, what can I do? That's what the pub quiz book's got in it, so... And I just wondered if anybody wanted to take it over, if or either that, or whether it's just me that's, because I've been like, I was busy trying to get sorted out in here, and then I really did knock myself out. Oh God, I was so tired. I had to have I couldn't come on. I was just too tired. I just felt like washed out. So I had another night off. After the internet all changed as well, because I were having trouble with internet. So we've changed supplier for internet, and it's not really that much better. It isn't for Harry. Is for some reason his PC acts up more than mine does.
Facebook should go walkabout.
Oh dear, hear that? Facebook's gone walkabout. He messes about with it too much, and he loses it himself. He's always messing about with it. And I said, for goodness sake, he swaps from one PC to another. And I said to him, oh God, you're worse than a 3-year-old. It really is sometimes. And I'm not that well up on PCs that I can always get him out of trouble. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. But yeah, he's a pain in the bum. But I didn't say that. You didn't hear me that. Didn't hear me say that, did you? Yeah, so well, I know there's a couple of what they call it, lads. God, I have hardly got any of this seat under my behind at the minute. Madam is all curled up behind me and pushing me right forward. She's a bugger. Excuse me, can we share? I won't be with her though, bless her. We did say before we lost Rosie that we weren't going to ever have any more. But oh my God, I was so down when I lost Rosie. It was like I'd lost my baby. Well, I'd lost my baby. They're like, oh, wished I'd have known you could have come for a cuppa. Hiya, Dee, how you doing, Flower? Lovely to see you. Are you all right, chick? Things getting a bit better for you, I hope. Any good news to tell us about, you know, social services helping you out at all? Not so good. Is that just your health, though? That's to be expected, I suppose, with your health. I was meaning more on other front. You know, he who cannot be named. She who cannot be named. Have you spoke to Mandy? I sent her a load of seed beads over. And the only box I could find that would fit, you know, I got that long beading frame thing for her. And the only thing I've got the only box that would fit in. And I managed to get nearly all my seed bead jars in. Yeah, a jar broke. Two, actually, well, one at jars broke. She said a plastic bottle, but I didn't know there were any plastic bottles. Thought they were these. These were glass. These were actually like spice jars originally. I got them second hand from one at charity shops, I think. I've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've still got 5 jars that I couldn't send because there were no room. Oh my God, what are they doing? Can't they see the situation you're in? Well, write to your bloody MP. That's what I had to do. My God, for all that people talk about John Mann, he got my mother into a home. Well, into a what's it place? There's no way that you can cope with that. Not with your own health. I mean, your health's worse than ever. Mine were, and John Mann were brilliant. Because they told me that there were no way they could find anything for her, social services, until I spoke to John Mann's secretary. I've even had Christmas cards off him since. But he did it, he got them in straight away. And I thought, well, it's bloody marvellous how they've suddenly found somewhere for her. Oh my God, poor Bobs. Jeez, Dee. Oh my word. God. It sounds like it, no. Oh, Flower. I wish there was something we could do for you. I really do. I mean, words are all nice and that, but it's not words you need, is it? You need something doing, and fast. Hiya, Percy. How you doing, chick? I was beginning to think you'd all run off. Yeah, well, you're not on your own. There's a lot running late tonight, it looks like. So, oh my God. How rude. Jesus. I'm assuming that is for your, that's for Bob's, is it, carers? Because if you need him 3 times a day for your mother, then she shouldn't be with you anyway, and they know that. I think about you all the time. Lisa's in a state as well, bless her heart. I was telling Mia, Lisa's dad passed away while they were in Marrakesh, and they had to come home, and she's come home to supposedly help her mum through funeral and everything, and she's got COVID really bad. Hiya, John. How you doing, Flower? Nice to see you. Yeah, so Lise can't go to her dad's funeral, but they're doing a Zoom thing so that family that live far away as well can, be part of service. But she feels that she's a bad daughter, and I keep saying, you're not a bad daughter, you can't help being ill. And I thought, well, could she go with a mask on? Because they allow that, don't they? But she's not well enough. She says, I'm just not well enough to do that. But she's going to be there for her mum afterward, She's going to still need help. When she's got over her COVID. But of all the times to get something like bloody COVID, couldn't have come at a worse time for her. And it makes you feel worse when you know you can't help anybody, doesn't it? Like your mum, if you know what I mean. It stinks. Blooming COVID. Bloody government's got a lot to answer for, I reckon. Oh, I shouldn't say that, should I? Anybody want a hairstyle like mine? My bum. Oh, Dee, I am so sorry to hear that. Oh, my word. God's truth, you wouldn't think it could get any worse for you, and yet it seems to. Jeez. Oh, and you've lost another cat, another one of your babies. How old is that one, Dee, that you've got left? Hope it's not an oldie one. He's playing bonfires out in garden. Oh, 16. Mind you, they can live into the 20s, cats, can't they? I don't know. It's sad. It's always. Oh, there's always something in there. There is. I mean, there's only me and Harry now, and I said we were talking about funerals and things. We're telling Claire, I says, don't go spending a load of money on a funeral for me. Just get me burnt. Just cremate me. So she says, well, they've been advertising about just cremations. I says, yeah, get me in there. Don't mess about with funerals. Don't want you spending a load of money. You need money for yourself, especially where like cost of living's going. And Harry said exactly the same. That's it. Just burn me. Don't go spending money on funerals. Well, it does. I was just saying, actually, just before you come on, with Poppy, when I got Rosie, we both of us said that she was the last we weren't going to have anymore. But we lost her quite young, and it devastated me. I mean, I didn't realise just how much that little dog meant to me. I mean, I didn't. I've always loved my animals, always. But when I lost Rosie, it was like I were empty. I just went into a dark place, and I just laid in bed. He says, I'm going to get your Claire to come and sort you out. I says, I don't need sorting out. I'm all right. Just leave me alone. And I just stay in bed crying, and Claire come and she gave me some right what for. And then next thing, Harry says, we better go looking for another dog, I think. It's the only thing that's going to bring you out of that misery. And I were miserable, terrible. Bloody hell, 8,000! Oh my God. I know they said they'd gone up, but that is ridiculous. What on earth could cost that much money? I ask you. Oh my stars. Did you get help from council as well, though? Because they'll help you out with a funeral when it's a family member. They asked me if my mum needed if we needed any assistance, financial assistance, when I lost my mum in 2014. And I said, maybe me. No, it's fine. She'd got her insurance out and it's enough to cover. I shouldn't have said that, apparently. And I says to Claire, don't tell them that there's enough money to do us, because... But having said that, guess who's not having a new kitchen now? I was. But we've just had we just had a quote, a proper quote with a plan and everything done. And they didn't half make it look nice. And they were talking about 17,000. That ain't happening. If we were to choke out 17,000 out of our bank account, there'd be virtually nothing left in it for us to be buried if we need, or whatever, when we die. And we haven't got enough time. We know we haven't got enough time to recompensate for that. And that being the case, Mia, I mean, we'd never, ever be able to save enough money up for both of us. He does have a minus pension. And whether you can get extra out for, funeral costs and that, I don't know. But I have nothing. All I've got is my old age pension. Oh, and my PIP. But that don't carry on after you're gone, you know what I mean? So, yeah. It's one of them. You just don't know, do you? You just never know. Oh, I've got a little lump come up on the arm here. Don't know whether you can see it on that. You can't. But, it's been driving me mad for ages. Oh, I must tell you this. I don't know what's wrong with our doctors, but they don't want work. They just do not want work. For starters, I rang up and made an appointment to go for you're coming to the front again. I can sit back a bit, peeps. I rang up and made an appointment for a COPD review for my medication and my breathing test. And it was like for another week in front. On the Monday, that was Monday last week. I don't know whether I mentioned this, but when I got there, I might have mentioned it on my live. When I got there, she was talking about blood tests and this, that, and other. And I said, for me, blood review. And I looked at her going, I said, I'm here for a COPD review. That's what I meant. That's what I asked for when I made phone call. And she says, no, you're here for a blood review. I said, no, I'm not. I'm here for a COPD. I've had a letter that's told me to make an appointment for a COPD review, medication review. She says, well, that's not what this appointment is. She says, I can't do that, what you're talking about. So I said, what is the point in me ringing up to make an appointment for a COPD review? To come and find out I'm having something totally different. And who's going to review my medication? Anyway, she got on with it, and then she's telling me, and I'm saying, why does my blood need reviewing? I don't understand what this reviewing of my blood is. I don't know what you mean. Why? What's wrong with me? Sort of thing. She says, you were nearly diabetic, and I said, whoa, I says, I've never been diabetic. Never been diabetic. She says, no, you weren't diabetic, but she says, you were only 1 point off. I said, what do you mean I were only 1 point off? She says, well, you got up to I forget how many number were, but I was 1 below. She says, so the next thing, I'd have gone 1 more point, I'd have been a diabetic. I said, surely if I were that close to being a diabetic, somebody would have told me or should have told me. She says, yes, they should have. I said, so why didn't they? And she says, we're looking to test your liver and your kidneys. I says, oh, going on here? There's nothing wrong with my liver, thank you very kindly. I've never had any problems with my liver, ever. And then I said, and my kidney, I've not got wrong with my kidneys. I said, only thing that was wrong with my kidneys were when my son was 6 months old, I had a tiny kidney stone. And I passed it, no problem. I mean, it was painful, but it was no problem. It come away. And I says, and he's 45 now. So, you know, from 6 months old to 45, that's a long time to go without any problems. And still no problem. So she said, and she got on about this diabetes and something else. And I'm thinking, I've never heard of so stupid in all my life. But anyway, she did all what she'd got to do. She took blood, she took my blood pressure, she weighed me, she measured me height and all this and other. And she says, I said, oh, by the way, what do I weigh? And she looked it up. She says, 8 stone 4. Do you know you've lost weight? I said, love, about 4 years ago or 3 years ago, I was nearly 15 stone. So I had a pretty good idea I'd lost weight. Oh, my God. So then she had to make me an appointment for my COPD review while I was there. And she did for end of April. So that's like a month late. It's a good job I can get my medication anyway. But anyway, that was that. And then as we were coming out, I said and I've got so much pain in this arm, it's unbelievable. And it's the bone. I know it's arthritis, no it is. But the medication that I take, well, the only pain relief I get from doctors normally is paracetamol. They're a waste of bloody time. They don't even shift headache for me. They do him. So I keep getting them because he uses them. He takes them a lot. But I did get one at doctors to prescribe me with some codeine phosphate because they do work. They are brilliant. But I were on 30 milligram ones. And I says to her, I need to speak to a doctor because I want to talk to him about all this pain I've got in my arm. So she says, I'll make you a phone call appointment. So I got a phone call appointment for Wednesday afternoon. Doctor rang me and it was nice. It was really pleasant. He says, and I was telling him that I said, I don't understand why I feel so tired all the time. I'm really feeling tired. I've no appetite. I'm not sleeping well. Last Friday I stayed up all night. So he says, you've just had some blood tests done. He says, but I need another one. So he says, if you can go and get a sample of blood took, and then we'll have a face-to-face appointment, right? Whoa, I'm in here. I'm going to get to see a doctor. So we went to hospital at Bassetlaw Hospital Wednesday to get this blood test. We couldn't park anywhere. 3 of the 4 major car parks were cut off. There's a big one at front. You can't get in there. You can't even get to accident and emergency anymore. It's all everywhere, scaffolding, building works going off. Car park sort of on side, only half of it available. Nobody can get in there. Then obviously, so car park at back is full. Where outpatients is at Bassetlaw, you can't get on there because that's blocked off. It's all scaffolding and stuff. We drove all the way around that hospital and couldn't find one place to park. None at Disabs, nothing. It was all, in fact, one at car parks were all half front to hospital as you first go on. Half at car parks boarded off. We don't see why. There's nothing happening on it. So I ended up, we went back to doctor's surgery and said, I'm going to have to come, I need to come here for an appointment. She says, we've nothing available. You can go to Westwood. That's at Manton. So we said we'd go there because it was no choice, with no choice. So we did. We went there, and we don't like leaving Poppy because she squeals and howls house down while we're out. So he says, we'll take her with us. I'll stop in Van Weir and you can go in. So I did. I don't know whether you'll be able to see it now, but can you see me? That there was a great big lump here, huge lump after she'd done. That were black as night. That I've never had. I mean, I bruise. I know I bruise easy, but I've never had one like that from a blood test before. And she says to me, "Oh, it looks as if I'm going to be having a job getting blood." And I said, "No, you're not. It's fine." I said, "As soon as you put that needle in, you'll get your blood." And it will make a face, and she would tapping on my arm like this. And I said, "You don't really need to do that." But anyway, she got needle, went in, and blood splurted out all over. I've got that much, I can chuck it about a bit. You shouldn't have to do that though, me. I mean, I'm disabled. You don't have to. Can you imagine Harry on his legs? His legs are bad enough on his own without having to push me in a wheelchair. There's no way you could push me from shops. I know what you mean, shops. There's no way you could push me from there into hospital just for a blood test. You know, if you were visiting me, you'd be struggling. In fact, I doubt anybody gets visitors in daytime because there's nowhere for them to park. It's ridiculous. So I've had this blood test done. I've also got to do a second urine test, which I've got to take in next time I go. But this face-to-face that I'm supposed to be having now that I've had this blood test, it's happening. It's going to ring me Wednesday afternoon again. Not this week, next week, Wednesday, 6th of April. I've got to wait till then for the doctor to get back to me because he needs to speak to me about my blood test. And he needs another urine sample, and I've got to drink more. I said, "Well, I'm drinking tea and coffee all day and pop. What more does he want me to drink?" And she says, "Water." Oh, I hate drinking water. I used to drink loads when I was a kid. But no, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy around here. Larwood used to be one of the best surgeries for miles around. Now it's rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. You can't. And then what gets me as well, I don't know how this works, but you ring up for an appointment, you're number 20 in the queue. 20? Since when have they had 20 places in queue? It never been like that before COVID. So fair enough, 20 in queue, put phone down. Tried again a bit later, you're number 20 in queue, put phone down again. 2 days later, I ring up again because I'm thinking I'm going to have to get myself, I've got to get in, ring and make an appointment. And I rang up and I was number 19. It was, hey, at least it's one better than last couple of days. And I was 19 in queue. Anyway, I decided I was going to hang on and see how quickly it went down. And it did go down fairly quickly. I've been on about 20 minutes, hanging on 20 minutes. I pay for my calls now because with PlusNet, I get a free landline, but I have to pay for my calls. And those 3 calls, the 2 where I got 20 and 20, and then the one where I waited, they're the only 3 calls I've made on my phone going out since the changeover. And I got a thing through from PlusNet email, "Your telephone bill is ready." For those 3 calls, 2 of which I didn't hang on for, £13.80 something. And I went on phone long to start with. I couldn't believe it. I said, "This is ridiculous. Every time you ring doctors and you've got number 20 on the list, you've got to hang on." And then, well, apparently Harry went down today to try and get me this urine sample bottle for when I need to take it in when I go. And there were another bloke in there. And he was trying to, and he says, "I have phoned and phoned and phoned, and I'm always number 20. And as Harry's telling me, I'm nearly peeing myself and thinking, oh, I know how he feels. He says, you know, I have to pay for my phone calls. Bless him. I have to pay for my phone calls, and I am not paying for a phone call to be told I'm 20 in queue and I've got to wait. He says, that is ridiculous. So she says, well, she said, we can't make her an appointment here. We only have emergency appointments. Liar. But you can go online and get an appointment. Well, if you can go online and get an appointment, why can't you give me an appointment? Fair question. Absolutely. Fair question. Why can't they give you an appointment? If there's appointments to be had and you're in the surgery, you took the trouble to drive down to surgery. Why can't they make you an appointment rather than send you home to go online? Now, I've got my appointment now for my COPD review, but it's not out back end of April. I should have gone in January. They didn't let me know until beginning of March. And then I forgot about it for a few days, a week or so, before I tried getting in. Oh, no, I know, Percy. I mean, it did used to be a good surgery at one time. It was one at Besting area, but not anymore. And I tell you what as well, a lot of the original doctors that were there when we first joined that surgery, which was nearly 13 years ago, because since we moved here, we've been here 13 years in June. We'll have been here 13 years. And we've never had a problem up until start of COVID. When I was talking to Doctor on phone last week, when it was Wednesday, whenever it were, I said to him, I've never had a good appetite since I had COVID. And he sort of went quiet on me. And I said, I know I've not been to doctors for COVID. I didn't need to. I knew I got COVID because apart from feeling like I were half dead, I couldn't eat. I couldn't stand the smell of food and still can't. And I'm like 3 years nearly into it and I still can't stand the smell of food. I said, so I know I've had COVID. In fact, I think I've had it 3 times. I'm guessing a third time I got it were when they let me out of hospital just before Christmas last Christmas. And I come home and I was badly, not last Christmas, gone one before, because this Christmas it's first time I Marlon, sorry, nearly forgot your name. I forgot what I was saying, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, I mean, the first year this year that I've had just gone Christmas, I had a Christmas dinner. Year before, I couldn't even think about food. And he says, don't bother, I'm not bothered about a Christmas dinner. Don't do out special. I looked at him and I just thought, you're not kidding, I can't bloody do out special. There's no way. So things aren't getting any better, even though all lockdowns have finished and everything. You still can't get a decent national health back. And I don't think we ever will, if I'm honest. I really don't. I do know, though, for a fact that some of the doctors' surgeries in the country, not just around here, but in the country, are back to normal. Absolutely back to normal. Ring up, can I come and see a doctor? Yeah, make an appointment, job done. And I know it's like that in one doctor's surgery in Lincoln, because young Emma, I call her young Emma, bless her, she's not that young, but you know what I mean, she's a lot younger than me. She was telling me that, she's our doctors, you can get in straight away for an appointment. So I'm tipping that she only lives in a small village, because our doctor's surgery is one of 5 and it's called village surgeries. There's 5 surgeries and you can go to any one of them, but most of them you've got to drive a long, long way for. So obviously we don't want to be going and doing that. It were bad enough having to go and have my blood took, only to get my arm made a mess. It was terrible, that when it first, and it hurt. Oh boy, did it hurt. It's only just stopped hurting where it needed, or in fact, no, it's not quite stopped. It's still quite tender, although it's nowhere near as bad as it were. Oh, I couldn't bear it. And he kept saying, that's getting worse. And I'm saying, don't tell me that because it's hurting enough. I don't want other things to worry about. But she made a right good mess of my arm. So wasn't happy. Wasn't a happy bunny at all. And then when were it? What day were it? Friday morning, I think it were, that she rang me up and said that doctor wanted to speak to me about me blood tests, but he needs me to have take another urine sample down where I've drunk a lot more water. I mean, I don't drink anything else, only tea, coffee, and that's my Dr. Pepper. That's I don't drink anything else. Tea and coffee, that's it. So I've got to start drinking a lot of water before Monday. not Monday, next week. Well, yeah, next Monday. When he's got what, from Canal? Yeah, might as well. So yeah, that's how it goes. Yeah, they are. You're right there, Percy. They are better in Carry On films. But you know, I mean, there were a time when I was sort of happy with our little lot. When we first moved here, we got in with Larwood surgery, and they were very good, really kind, helpful. You know, couldn't do enough to help you, and all the rest of it. And now it's like they don't. All right then, Chuck, take care and see you again soon, Mia. Bye-bye for now, Flower. If we don't speak to you before, have a nice holiday. So, yeah, so we've had it rubbish for quite some time, but definitely COVID's made matters a whole lot worse. But the original doctor that we actually signed up for, I don't think he's there anymore. Never here. He never sees. When we went and I had that blood test done last week, and we went down to the bottom waiting room, as it were. His name weren't on that door anymore, and that's always been his surgery, that one. So I don't think he's there anymore. But he must be retired anyway now. I mean, he were getting, well, I'm saying getting on in years, obviously not as old as us by any means, but I think he'll have retired. So, don't know. They're all foreign names now. Except the, I'm saying except the COPD nurse. Now, unless she's changed and gone on somewhere else, I'm hoping she'd be the only one that I recognise face of. Because even bloody reception's got a bloke in there now. Harry said there were only a bloke there today when he nipped in. So I don't know. Don't know what to make of it. I don't. But yeah, it's getting ridiculous now. I mean, it just grinds at my bones when I think if you go onto the internet, you can get an appointment, but you can't get one studying surgery where they've got books there in front of them. It just doesn't make any sense at all. It really doesn't. Don't understand it. Not one bit. I don't. So there's not much hope for us, and you know, us old uns now, bottom of the pile. You don't give a damn. having said that, you know, when I went to get my blood test done last Wednesday at the other surgery that I don't like going to anyway, it's one of the rough areas of our area. There were a young woman in there. She got a newborn baby in her arms, and she'd been sat waiting there all the time I was stood waiting to talk to the receptionist, which was about 10 minutes. Of course, this bloke had already seen his doctor who was coming out and nattering to her for 10 minutes. And I'm stood there rolling about on the walking stick, ready for falling over. And she's got this tiny baby in her arms. She was chatting to another woman. I don't know whether they were together or not. By the way, she got a baby in her arms. And she was sat waiting. And I went in, I got called through. And I went in and I came out, and that girl was still sat there with the baby. That's not good in the surgery when people are coming in with various illnesses. You don't leave a baby that young, and it were only a newborn. You don't leave somebody with a newborn baby waiting that long in the surgery where it could get packed full of sick people. That is just not right. It's shite, really it is. But well, you don't know. What can you do? Your hands are tied, aren't they? You can't make them do, you know. But yes, I was absolutely stunned when I saw how much it had cost me for those 3 phone calls to doctor's surgery. That's the only place I've used that phone for. Because when I speak to my son on phone, he messages me on Facebook and says, "Can I ring you?" And I message him back, "Yeah," and he'll ring me on his phone. But I never ring anybody on my phone, only the doctors. And it cost me, I ought to go and chuck bill on their bloody table, didn't I say you pay that? Because you're only people that's kept me waiting on phone for a call. I should love to do that, I tell you. I will. In fact, Harry's been thinking that we made a mistake with PlusNet because he's been having a lot of problems with his end at the internet, but I haven't on mine. So I don't know. I mean, I found them all right, PlusNet. They've sent me a gift card, a credit card that's prepaid, and I can use it anywhere, but I don't know how much is on it. I can't remember how much it said when I've looked through everything. I can't find how much it were. So, you know, I think it's about £75, but I don't know for sure. But I'm supposed to go and get it to use it to get it going, you know. But I don't know how. So I've lost out on that now anyway. It's gone by date. I should have done it. It's gone by. So it's been a waste of money. Waste of their money, my money, whatever. I've not done it. So, well, we've not got enough people in, I'm sorry, peeps, for a quiz tonight. So I'm not going to do a quiz. Unless you're bored to death with listening to me rattling on. I can rattle. I can rattle for I can rattle. I can rattle for king and country, let me tell you. Oh dear. I'm known for it. No, I've checked everything. I've gone through all my paperwork, all sorts. I can't find it. Didn't even tell me how much is on it. So I ain't gonna bother. I ain't gonna bother. Oh, now this arm is hurting me. Oh. He did eventually give me some codeine phosphate, but he only gave me lower, one, so I have to take 2 instead of 1 I normally take. But never mind. But I got them twice. He said to me while he were actually on phone with me, "Your prescription's gone through to surgery, to pharmacy as we speak. Now we have all our meds delivered. They deliver them for us because we're pensioners. and they didn't come that day, Wednesday. They didn't come Thursday. They didn't come Friday. Well, I said they might not come Wednesday because he'd only just sent it through. But we didn't get them Thursday and Friday, so Saturday we had to get them. So Harry went and got them from doctor's surgery, from pharmacy. He went and fetched them because they said he must be slow. He must be in car. But anyway, they found prescription and they redid it, and then bloke rolled up about an hour after he got back with medication from chemist. He rolled up and brought a bag of medication, so I got double whammy. Hi JJ, how you doing? Welcome to my channel. I think it's going to be nice. Please be careful. I have some very good moderators. Oh dear. Welcome. What are you into, JJ? Are you into metal detecting? We have metal detectors here. I'm pretty good, thank you. What do you dabble in? Do you do dabbling in metal detecting, or are you a crafter, or what's your what takes your fancy to spend your time? Oh, you're a crafter. Well, that's nice to know. What sort of crafts do you do then? Are you a knitter, a paper crafter, or? I do a bit of everything. I've done resin and paper crafting, and now I'm into sewing, getting into my sewing again. I made some little dolls with smelly stickerty hanging up there at the back behind me. They smell of, they've got the fragrance of the Lenor beads that you put in your washer. Oh, it's same as me then, diamond painting. I've got one on going out at the minute. Done resin, got loads of resin stuff. Here, look, this is all resin, all cover minders and needle minders. I've had a go at cross stitching, but I found it was too difficult for me. I think it was my eyes. So not very good with my eyes. It wasn't nice to have you aboard. Do you do videos? Do you have a channel and, you know, do any videos to show your wares and your crafts? You do? I'm going to make a note of you then, and I'll come and give you a sub. So we'll put JJ's space. JJ's space. Right, well, I'll pop over and give you a sub in a little while. You love the minders? Well, they are for sale if ever you're interested. Yeah, well, you should, because it's nice to share, let people see. If people see what you're making and they like it, they'll buy it off you. I mean, I've sold quite a lot of my stuff, resin especially. But I mean, those little dolls that I've got behind me on there, I've sold a lot of those as well. People would buy from you if you know, they can see you making them and you're interested, Have you really? You started doing your own? Wow, now that is interesting. So what do you do with that? I mean, that's not something I've ever considered. Does it take a lot of time up though, and space? Space is something I am very short on because I've got too much stuff, miles too much stuff. I have got my sewing all over there, and I can't even do that yet because there's too much stuff on my sewing table, and that's not even with sewing machine on. It's on floor at the minute. I'd love to see some of your own diamond paintings. All right, okay. Yeah. It's not something I would have thought of doing. I mean, I like doing diamond painting, but I've been doing a lot of the teddy bears. I've got quite a few in boxes over there. Diamond painting the teddies myself, and in fact, I've got one somewhere over here started. I shall have to get. Has Kev won yet? No, I've not done quiz tonight, Percy, because there's only been for first hour, half hour. For first half hour and plus, there's only been me and Mia nattering away because there were nobody else on. Oh yeah. Do you know, it's not something I ever looked into because I bought my diamond paintings in good faith. End of story. If there's been some kind of a copyright issue, it's not mine, it's somebody else's. That's all I say about it. I mean, they've got to watch their own stuff. If it's, if they've got a copyright, they have to look after themselves. It's not for me to police it for them. You know what I mean? I got a lot of my diamond paintings from AliExpress. In fact, I'd say most of them. I've had a few from Diamond Art Club. They are far too expensive for such as me. Far too expensive. And I only got them from, the only reason I got any diamond paintings from Diamond Art Club was because there's a lady called Linda, and she is Dreaming Craft Corner or Dreamer Craft Corner, and she has giveaways. And in the early days, when she was on, I still watch her. I still got her, I'm still sub. But she did giveaways, and I did win 3 times. And I felt bad because nobody else. It was like I felt like nobody else was getting a look in, so I stopped taking part. Now she did. She did message me and ask me why I stopped taking part in the challenges. And I said, well, for one, I'm not in US. And for 2, I've already won 3. And it's not fair. I just want other people to have a chance at winning. So I don't mind. And she said, oh, no, I want you to join in. But no, I don't want to keep taking all prizes, And it was difficult for her because she sent me, she thought she'd sent me an Amazon $50 gift card. But when I went to use it, I couldn't use it because it was an American gift card and I was trying to use it on English Amazon. You can't do that apparently. So then I had to get back to her and say to her, this gift card that you've given me, I can't use it in the UK. So she says, oh, well, I said, look, I said, don't worry about it. Just take it back. You don't need to send me anything else. Hello. Oh, don't worry. We've not done a quiz check this evening. We're just having a natter and a moan about most things like NHS. NHS. But yes, so she actually got the card back, and then she just sent a $50 gift card to DAC, and I've done that twice, and I've used it. But I've found a diamond painting, and also the postage to fit in that, where I've not had to put much money to it for delivering, because I think they charge a hell of a lot of money for delivery. So Yeah, I know that. I mean, as I say, I've won twice. The first one I got the Amazon gift card and tried to use it in UK, and they said it's American, you can't use it. So rather than, I was worried that she was going to lose her 50 quid, and I just said, look, take it back. Don't worry about sending. I don't want anything. I really don't. There's no need. But she insisted. She said, no, you won fair and square. I want you to have a prize. So, you know, Linda's not one you can argue with, bless her. She's got heart as big as a bucket. So she said, where would you like to get your diamond painting from? So I said, well, I can't normally afford to buy one from Diamond Art Club, so that would be nice. So she did. She gave me a $50 card for Diamond Art Club, and as I say, I made it cover the diamond painting and the postage. I only had to pay probably about $5 for postage, which I didn't mind. So yeah, you can't use them in Canada either. No, I know there's a massive difference in value as well, isn't there? A Canadian dollar to an American dollar. Yeah, I know. I was funnily enough when you're talking to my other half about that, you know, and saying Canada's expensive. You know, they don't get much for their dollar, and yeah, it's a bit rough that. I do have a Facebook account. It's just Anne Chambers. Write that down. ANN, no E. Anne Chambers on Facebook. And on mine, the little avatar is a little Westie with a Nemo fish on lawn. So if you see when you look at mine, because apparently there's a lot of Anne Chamberses. Oh, God help the world. There's a lot like me. Oh my God. Yeah. So look for the little Westie in the corner for our Poppy, our Rosie Posey. I've never changed. I won't ever change it. No, neither will I change my channel name. Even much as I love my little Rosie, but my little Poppy Lou, I'm not changing my channel name from Rosie because she was my special girl. She is, man. She looks like a bloody sheep. Are you going to show people what you look like? Are ya? Look at this. Mummy had a little woolly lamb. Oh dear, bless her. She's actually going to get her hair cut on Tuesday, thank God. Oh, she's a little sweetheart, though. Yeah, it's so are you in US then, JJ? I don't know your name, sorry. What do we call you? I'm assuming you're in US. Or are you in Anne, ANN, Chambers, CHAMBERS. Anne Chambers. Oh, you're in USA. Just give me a mo. Let me see again. Well, what do you know? I'm already subscribed to you. There you go. I must have already done it. sometime. I am subscribed to you, JJ. Can I type it for you? There you go. That's me. And just look for a little Westie with a fish. Somebody disturbed you, Duck? Have they? Oh, you're in Connecticut. Yeah, it's funny that. And I didn't know, I didn't recognise your name for some reason, but we're already subbed. By heck, it's getting warm in here, Poppy. Isn't it? It is. So what does everybody else do then in week when they're not working, and what do you do for your pastimes, everybody? Marlon, you're a detector, aren't you? A detectorist, like Percy and John. Oh, right. Work. Ah, you do. Are you always at work? Bless you. Trouble is, you work from home when you're not at work, don't you? Hello, you're a sucker for punishment. Set poop on eBay. What? Set poop on eBay. I changed my pay. Right, coin collecting as well. I used to collect coins. Well, years and years and years ago, and then my brother, he started collecting coins, and I ended up giving him what I had. Oh, that's not good, Lou. Yikes. Do you think you've got need to worry? All right, that's, well, let's keep his fingers crossed for you, chick. Yeah, we'll keep his fingers crossed for you. Fingers, toes, eyes, everything will all be crossed. Send our Lou some YouTube love. It's always a bit worrying, isn't it, when you can't find me on Facebook. What are you on Facebook? Tell me what you are on Facebook, and I'll go and do so. I'll go and look for you. Oh, does she? Jewellery macrame. Wow. I've had a go at that and all, I'm rubbish. Does she? Oh, right. Jennifer E. Jones. Is that actually how it says on? Is E. Jones there? Oh, oops. I'll just go onto Facebook then and do have a look. Talk amongst yourselves. Look there. Oh. Yeah, I think that one's you. Right. I think we're friends on Facebook now. If you get a request for Ann Chambers, it'll be me. I've just sent one, but it says on thing at top, friends. All right, you've got it. I've actually got a craft page as well on Facebook, Rosie Posy Crafts. We'll have a nosy on there as well. You can join that if you like. Put anything in there that you want. If you want to sell stuff, fine by me selling it from there. I have no objections whatsoever. Or just put your diamond paintings or whatever your resin it is that you've been making. Not used it for ages, but if you see somebody's gone into it, I always go and have a look. And there's some others do as well that's in there. So yeah, you can join that Facebook group and show your wares and sell them. I don't mind. Don't mind anybody making an honest dollar. Right, peeps, it's 9:15. And I'm nearly ready for my nebulizer. So I'm going to cut it short tonight. I do apologise. But when I'm on my own on live, I have to do all the talking. And unfortunately, when you have problems breathing, it can become an issue. But I do thank you all very, very much for coming on. It's been lovely chatting with you. Nice to know you've got other new people coming on. I'm here every Monday night, for those that don't know. And come and join in on quiz. It's a fun quiz. You are allowed to Google for answers. We have no objections to cheating. That's what makes it fun. And if you don't know the answer and you want to make up a silly answer, then by all means do, and we'll all have a laugh, because we do have a laugh on here, especially on quiz night. And there are certainly, yeah, I am so sorry that I don't ever go on. I don't do a quiz now unless there's at least 8 or 9 people in, because it really isn't worth it. You know what I mean? And that sounds awful, but it's pointless really. If you've not got a few in, you can't do it for just 4 or 5 people. It don't make any kind of sense at all. But yeah, that's it. I don't know any answer. The only reason I know bloody answer is because I've got them in front of me. Yeah, you do need somebody to have a bit. I mean, when like Lou is on, and Kev and Percy, they're all a bit on, they've got a bit of nous and they're quite good. So it's nice to have a little bit of a competition between themselves. And we have a laugh along the way, which is all you can do. But I'll be here next week, just the same quiz, because it's not been used this week. And just enough to say I love you all. Thank you for being here. Take care. Stay safe out there. Apparently it's going to get warmer, so I'm told, by the weekend. Whether that's happening or not, I don't know. Quite honestly, I don't believe them. Right. Okie dokie, that will be lovely, sweetheart. Thank you. So I'll see you all next week. Mwah. Take care, everybody. Stay safe.